All right, now to the migrant crisis in Europe. Austria has deployed armored vehicles to its borders with Italy and will send hundreds of soldiers to block migrants heading into their country. Joining us now, national security analyst for the Clarion Project, Ryan Mauro. Ryan, Europe really can't seem to get a handle on this issue. When you start to break out the military assets, that's scary stuff.
Yeah, Europe is really stuck. I mean, they are so stuck because think about the choice that they have now. They can either allow literally millions of people to just keep arriving each year and then all the problems that entails while the population is demanding leaders that put an end to it, or they can try to put an end to it and stop the flow, but then you're dealing with riots on the borders, violence as people who are desperate to get in there come in, and then that's also political suicide because of how that can escalate. You could have Muslim communities within Europe then rise up as you have riots and clashes with people trying to come in. So I don't see a pretty ending to this at all.
I know in the last 2 weeks alone, I've seen so many images of these big ships, these big boats drifting from North Africa into Italy. They just come almost it's almost like a highway. They don't stop them somehow. They get there, and then there's no turning back. I mean, so Italy seems to be one of these focal points. We're talking about Austria breaking out the heavy, artillery, but
yeah.
What do countries like that do? How do they fight this? Because their welfare program, while generous, isn't like what's up north if they can just get up there.
Right. Well, the only thing you can do is just with security, just not allow them to come in. But imagine being one of those security personnel that's looking at people risking their lives to try to come to the continent. And a lot of people die trying to make that trip. So that's heartbreaking in and of itself. Some of the solutions out there which could improve the situation, such as having an independent Kurdistan that's taking in a lot of refugees, or safe zones in Syria, it helps. But let's be realistic. None of those places compare to getting to Europe or the United States or another country in the West. People are still going to be trying to flow in.
All right, another one for you, Ryan. With all the focus this week on North Korea's latest missile launch, do you worry that the fight against terrorism sort of gets overshadowed?
Yes, because when there's a crisis like what you're dealing with North Korea, and that's a legitimate thing to cover, other stories that deserve attention sometimes just don't get the attention they deserve. For example, this individual, Ramadan Abdullah, who had previously been arrested in 1977, they found material for 50 bombs in his home, was arrested again. And he had a stockpile of guns. This was in upstate New York. And then according to sources within a group called Muslims of America, sources that I obtained, and then as well as someone I work with, Martin Moyer, obtained, this individual is not just one guy with a lot of guns. He is a close associate of this group, Muslims of America, which is famous for having what they call Islamic villages around the country. That's a big story. When you have a guy that's associated with a radical group with an infrastructure around the U.S., that's something that needs to be covered.
Also, from a military point of view, we had General McInerney on who was talking about, massive deployments of weapons, troops, and our military has been so thinned out. So when we do that, it's got to embolden Iran. It's got to embolden some of the other bad actors in the world, too, and because they know we cannot fight on all these fronts at the same time.
Right. There's been talk going back to the early 90s of that there might be some type of treaty between Iran and North Korea where if one of them gets into a fight with us and the other one also picks a fight, because then that raises the chance for both of them to succeed. And if they believe that a fight with the U.S. is inevitable, that's the way you go about it. And when I look at North Korea, that's another situation that just doesn't have a nice way of ending in any way. So, for example, the regime's going to implode one day. And when that happens, it's going to be like a gold rush of terrorists and rogue states trying to snatch up all of those weapons and personnel.
Implode in the sense that there will be an internal uprising? Someone will have the guts to take out the Kim Jong-un?
It's inevitable. The best scenario would be that someone near him overthrows him and you have stability. But most likely,
all those generals look so afraid, man. They look so afraid. I mean, they got 5,000 medals and they can't move and they're scared. And he's shooting them. But you can believe
one day it'll happen, though.
Yeah. I hope so. Thanks a lot, Ryan.
Sure.